Oh my god, it's recording.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Hi. Our hair is so long.
Oh my god, our hair collectively is really getting there.
Do you mind me eating?
Oh my god. Single broccoli. What'd you make?
I roasted some sweet potatoes and broccoli and some codfish.
Chef Jane.
Chef Jing. So if you have been following us since the inception of the Vodkast, which is like one person maybe.
And it was like one episode and it was like 2 weeks ago.
If you've been like eagerly waiting for the next episode, we apologize that it's taken a little long because we tried to do this last week and we just ended up like rambling for 45 minutes and we were like, I don't think people are going to want to like hear this.
I like personally didn't want to hear. You live and you learn. We're back for round 2.
Round 2, episode 2, just 2. Two. That's a linguistics thing. We can, if you really want to know the origin of two, leave us a comment down below and we will, come up with an
We'll
episode.
do an episode about 12. Typically, the beginning of our podcasts are going to be the same every time we record. So we're going to start with our oh my god highs and our oh my god lows of the week or however long we haven't recorded. And then following that, we're going to talk about oh my god TV, which is just something that we're watching or we watched that week that we thought was interesting and want to talk about. And then the last part is our oh my god faves. And after that, we're going to jump into a different topic every single week. And this week it's positive friendships.
Let us know if you have feedback. We are very receptive to constructive criticism, but again, don't make us cry.
But again, we're receptive, but we will cry. That's me.
So like maybe don't.
No feedback, please. Anyways.
Yeah, Cooks, what was your oh my god high of the week?
The main oh my god high was this racial equity workshop that I went to on Wednesday. That was like the company I work for sent me to it, and I was just intrigued by it because I'd heard a lot of good things about the organization that was doing it, and it sounded like it was going to be like discussing a lot of like applied ways to like make your organization more equitable. And I think the reason I really enjoyed it because I was like in a Zoom room of people who were honestly like way smarter than me and way more informed than I was, and I heard so many new like perspectives of people in all different industries, because I feel like typically in these trainings you're in the training with people in your own organization or in your own industry, and so it's like not a ton of new voices, but I felt like I learned a lot. And also something that we'll probably go into in a different episode, but it was like really interesting hearing about different strategies that people have in like this conversation that's going on right now. So that was definitely my high.
Not my oh my god high, but oh my god, you went on Wednesday?
Yes.
Because on Wednesday, I went to a Zoom training for implicit bias. Wow.
Whoa.
Literally,
we were doing the same thing at the same time.
Literally.
Was it a good workshop?
I think so. It was supposed to be in person, but COVID hit.
It's great that they make teachers do that too.
For sure. It's like totally an ongoing thing too.
Nice. What's your oh my god high?
So my oh my god high, I feel like it's similar to last time. I've been exercising a little more, but I like literally when I say that, it sounds like I've been exercising for the past like 3 weeks nonstop. I haven't. And when I say I've been exercising more, I mean like I've moved and done exercise for 2 days in a row. So like very short term, not at all. Yeah, but a win for me. It's been hard to get motivated, but I've just been YouTubing random videos that I feel like Chloe Ting has been super popular nowadays. Her name is kind of everywhere and her workouts are really intense. So I've been doing a combination of that and a little bit of yoga. And yesterday I started doing bedtime yoga.
I've also been doing bedtime yoga. We are twins.
So how do you do bedtime yoga? Do you do it with your mom? Do you follow YouTube videos?
Like ever since coming back to my mom's place for COVID times, she does yoga every single night. And for the first 2 months, I did not partake. But then I was like, I could probably benefit from this practice. And I think I'd never done yoga from a Indian yogi before, so I was like, I just want to like try it out and see how it's different. And so she has her own practice that she does, and then we recently, we've been doing every single night, which has been great because it also helps my hip, which I have a strained hip for the past 2 years, so that's been like awesome. But over the last week we started doing like another kind of series, kind of like a sun salutation, but it's a moon salutation, so it's like a nighttime relaxing yoga, and we've started doing that in the evenings. I can share it with you. I'm sure there's like a video somewhere, but it's like your wind down yoga.
I would love to. My mom's been doing it too. She's the one who like prompted me to, oh my God, my mom also. She's been doing bedtime yoga every night and she's been telling me about it. So I was like, let me jump on this.
We're like the same.
We're literally the same. Or oh my God, highs, we're the same.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my God, low is just like the increasing deaths in COVID. And I'm feeling, especially this week, just very disappointed in people and in humanity. And that's not a good feeling, you know? It's like there's that feeling of hope and like things are getting better, and then there's that feeling of like, yikes. Don't care, and things might not get better very soon.
I was gonna say that's a good low, but like
it's a relatable low.
It's a relatable low. Yeah. I feel that too. Yeah. My low is that so I set up an appointment, a virtual appointment with my doctor.
Yes.
Because I've been experiencing some digestion issues. And I think because I had an eczema flare-up in like the May to June period of time, that was what was preoccupying my mind. But then it's been a few months since that's calmed down, thankfully, but I've kind of looked back and realized that my digestion has not been normal since pretty much COVID hit and I started quarantining and working from home and staying at home. So I met my doctor and she said that it sounds like I have symptoms of IBS. So I basically said, you know, this has happened since COVID, this is what I'm experiencing. And in terms of lifestyle and dietary changes, obviously COVID hit. And I've been at home and I've been drinking coffee every day with non-dairy milk. And I have been baking a lot more and eating more baked goods. Because even when I'm not baking, like Justin's mom bakes a lot and I'll eat it because it's really good. And she said to try and cut out coffee and baked goods for a couple weeks. And also she asked me, she was like, have you been like leaving your home? And I was like, only if I have to, because I don't, you know, I've just been really scared and on the conservative side. She was like, doctor's orders, you have to go and take a walk every day, which is also my, oh my God, high. Like I've started doing that since meeting with the doctor. So I haven't cut out coffee yet, but I have done the other things. I'm not going to bake. I'm not going to eat processed foods. And I have been taking walks. And she also said it's largely tied to stress, which makes sense. So I feel like I really need to like do a lot of self-care and focus on this before school starts when things are going to be more stressful. But it's been, you know, a couple days. It hasn't been worse. It's gotten like a little better. So I'm just glad that the doctor confirmed what it is and is suggesting more like lifestyle changes versus like, oh my God, you need medicine.
Sounds like a productive doctor's visit.
Pretty productive, yeah. So our next section is Oh My God TV. I think I talked about this last week in our failed episode.
Oh yeah.
It's like the same one, but I feel like I can be more articulate about it today.
And you probably watched more.
Yeah, I've seen one more episode.
Oh, okay.
Just now.
Oh God.
It's a TV show called Love on the Spectrum, and it's about young adults, I think in Australia, just dating and finding love. I am only on episode 3. Like I've finished 3 episodes so far. And before I started, I was very, you know, hesitant and unsure how I would feel about it because of how trashy like dating shows can be. And then when you combine that with people on the autism spectrum, it can go very wrong. I actually really like it. It's super heartwarming and genuine. I feel like I can't relate personally because I'm not on the spectrum, but as a special ed teacher, I do feel like they are shown in this show in a respectful way. And honestly, a lot of the struggles that they have with dating are struggles that I think everyone has with dating. Maybe it's a little bit different in terms of the social skills they need to acquire, but everyone goes on awkward dates. Everyone's trying to find common interests. It's very relatable because everyone goes through dating and has struggles.
Yeah.
So
dating is a universal struggle.
Exactly. I feel like it's raising awareness about people on the spectrum because stereotypically they're super I feel like people just have this image or assumption that people with autism are very happy being alone. They're not interested in developing relationships with other people. They're but honestly, like, they want a lot of the things that most people want. So very interesting. And it's also pretty diverse, not racially. It's an autism spectrum. So I feel like they do show people on the spectrum. And there's also a girl who is bisexual. There are just a lot of different experiences that people have.
That's great. I'm glad to hear you like it because that makes me feel better about maybe watching it.
Yeah, I recommend it. What's your oh my god TV?
My oh my god TV this week is this show on Hulu called Normal People. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it, but I don't know the premise of it or anything.
Okay. Yeah, I had heard about it from a couple people who had read the book and really, really loved the book and also ended up enjoying the show. But they also warned me that it's kind of a lot, or it could be a lot. But basically, it's an Irish show, and it follows this guy and this girl who meet in high school, and it kind of explores their journey as they kind of go in and out of each other's life over the span of 10 or 15 years. So it goes through high school, it goes through college, it goes through past college. I'm currently only on episode 5, so I'm halfway through the show. But it kind of just explores them as people and how they grow up, but also their relationship and how it changes. And I think it's really well done, super good acting. But it's at this point where I am, it's so frustrating because you see how messed up relationships were when you're younger and you don't know what you want and you don't know how to communicate, and there's all sorts of feelings and they're not really treating each other all that well. So it's a little bit, I can see why people say it's kind of a lot in terms of as far as relationships and dating goes. So I'm hoping it gets a little healthier and a little better as they grow older. But it is I love shows that kind of explore time in that way, and you follow someone over a really long period of time. So it's interesting. I also watched it with a friend, socially distant, Anna, and we had cocktails and stuff. So it was we made it a little bit more fun.
Have you ever watched This Is Us?
The first the first few eps, actually.
Were you not into it?
I don't know.
It does a similar thing where it follows this family over time. So you can see present day mom is a grandma, but it weaves in and out of all the stages of her life and her children, and how they intertwine and disconnect. And
it does sound like all those shows that you like.
It's literally all the shows that I like. It's very emotional though. I don't cry tears at every episode, but it's very it hits you in the feels every single episode.
Do you have a fave?
Yes, but actually I need to go get it right now. So hold on.
Oh my god.
My cousins in Hong Kong make fun of me a lot for having super chipped nails whenever I see them. My cousin Lulu sends me a picture of something, but her fingernails, 3.5 fingernails, are in the corner of the picture. And I was thinking to myself, I was did she get a mani in the pandemic? She was no, our aunt discovered this stick-on nail line that looks like a real manicure.
Ooh,
I know.
Oh my god, it's so pretty.
We texted about it for 3 days and we're still texting about it because I just did it, and I'm oh my god, I can't I can't stop looking at my nails. So this is what the packaging looks like.
Ooh.
This is my open one.
So is each one like a one use?
So no, it depends on how you use it, but there are 34 strips in each pack, and these packs are like $6 or $7. Based on how I use this for the first time, it's enough for like 3 to 4 mani-pedis. It's like literally as thick as nail polish. It's not like, so you know how in like the drugstore when you walk past stuff that looks like this, you kind of walk past it, because at least growing up when I saw it, it would be super thick plastic things you glue on it. But this is like so thin. It's literally like nail polish. And so you see how I used half of that one?
Mm-hmm.
You just stick it on your fingernail, and I use nail clippers to clip off the extra stuff, and then I saved it and I put it here. And to shape it to get to the size of your nail, you just file, and it comes with a file. I'm an aggressive scrubber when I wash my hair.
Yeah.
And I just wash my hair. I like, when I do random stuff, like it's literally perfect.
Oh my God.
You need to get it.
This is another Twan moment, because I was feeling like I need to look into that. You need something like what I thought was going to be my oh my God fave of the week was also a nail polish thing, which is crazy because we're twanning again. So early, like months ago in the pandemic, my friend sent me a gift card for this nail polish brand, and she's obsessed with it. She's been talking about it forever. It's called Olive and June, which is also a nail salon in LA. They have their own nail polishes, and I've had this gift card for like months, and I was just like putting it off
because that's what you do with gift cards.
Yeah, that's like literally a like brand thing for me.
I'm surprised it's only been a few months.
I ordered them, and they were supposed to come in 2 days ago, and then FedEx. I have no idea what's going on. Nails make me so happy. Jing knows there was rarely a time I don't have my nails done, and this has been really tough for me.
Oh my God.
So I
get ready.
All the nail things.
So okay, what's your oh my God fave?
This past weekend, this is something I've been thinking about doing for a long time, but I finally bit the bullet, and I decided to phone bank this past weekend, which phone bank for Joe Biden. And it was stressful, but like not as difficult or scary as I thought. And I actually really enjoyed the experience. And so I am like committing to making time every week to just like hop on the platform. Once you get trained on the platform, it's like really easy to just kind of do it whenever. But just like hop on the platform and like make a few calls. And it's a really great way to like use a little bit of time to like, contribute to the election. Of course, like voting is like number one. If you like commit to vote and you vote for Biden, then like that's amazing. But if like extra things that you want to do, this is like a really kind of like easy, free way to like continue to like work hard. And a lot of the phone banking events are for battleground states, so states that either lean red or lean blue and could flip. And so they're not necessarily like in your own state, which I live in a blue state, so it wouldn't really matter as much.
So what is it like? Do they give you like the name and phone number of people and you just call them, and do you have a script?
So you don't use your phone number, and you don't know anyone's phone number. It's like through a platform called Through Text, and you log on to it, and you connect your phone only so you talk through your phone, but it shows the different number to the people you're calling. But it'll like automatically connect you to a voter. It like dials super fast, so it like can go through numbers, and if people don't pick up, it'll pass through them. But you'll hear a beep when someone picks up, and then there's a script that pops up. You just read through the script, and there's different selections. So you can select like I'm talking to the right person, or I'm not talking to the right person, or wrong number, or like deceased or moved or whatever. So you click the option, and then you ask them about their political leanings, and you can select like strong Democrat, lean Democrat, strong Republican. And based on those options, it'll lead you to a new part of the script. So it's like it very much guides you through. Of course, you should like think a little bit about what like the reasoning for why you're voting for Joe Biden, if they want to have a conversation with you. But essentially, like if you're talking to a strong Trump supporter, the script says to just be like, okay, like thanks for your time, have a good day, because you're not trying to actually like engage in a conversation with someone who's very strong red.
What have your phone calls been like? Like have people hung up on you, or have people been receptive to what you're saying?
So like 85% of people will hang up on you, which
Mm-hmm.
I would too. So the trick that I have though is I use a white person name, and I feel like people actually talk to me more because of that. Because I was texting my other friend who is South Asian, and she was like so surprised that people were actually picking up and talking to me. And I was like, oh well, I say my name's Kelly, so.
So I think
And
you're
she
like
was like,
some white girl.
right, because I sound like a white girl. Um, she was like, that is such a good idea. So one, say you're a white person, and especially in battleground states, I feel like maybe
Right.
like, so like 85 to 90% of people hang up. The majority of the people who don't hang up, I would say, are Democrat, which is kind of nice. Like you have a conversation with them, and I've talked to like quite a few Democrats with like really heavy Southern accents who are like, oh, I just wish I could do more. Like, I wish I could vote for Biden twice. And they like share how they're contributing to their communities
Oh
and
my
how they're
God.
trying to help. I had one person who was leaning Trump, and that like honestly flustered me because I do not talk to Trump supporters on a daily basis. Like, I don't know how to, especially like engaging with a complete stranger and trying to like convince them to a different point of view when you have no idea what like appeals to them. But the script does a good job of like targeting like what is most important to you, and then if they choose like healthcare, if they choose like the environment, whatever it is, it'll like guide you through a different topic.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I've luckily not had anyone like cuss me out or anything. I'm sure happens.
Probably because you're Kelly.
Right.
I feel like our, oh my God, faves have been very different in terms of like
I'm like really excited about yours though. Like I'm pumped up because nails are so important to me. That looks like a pay box manicure.
it
Like
looks
that
like
looks
a
like
real, I can't
that
like
looks like a manicure I paid $60 for before I went to Vegas. Like I did the same exact gold like moon thingy. Should we get into our topic?
yes, positive friendships, something I personally really enjoy.
I enjoy it as well.
So we have a sort of list of subtopics within positive friendships that we wanted to hit in this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is, what are the characteristics of a positive friend or a positive friendship?
A true positive friend is someone who is, no, I wrote this hella weird. Hold on.
Oh my God, I'm so full. I just ate a whole sweet potato.
And broccoli.
And fish. Damn.
My first characteristic of a positive friendship is someone who prioritizes you. And also, while I was thinking of these, I feel like a lot of them are the same for when looking at for a romantic relationship.
I thought that too. Literally one of my things. There's so much overlap.
There is so much overlap. If you want like a true, positive, like meaningful, strong friendship, it's basically like being in a relationship with that person.
Yeah.
But my first thing is, someone who prioritizes you and is there for you in important moments, whether it's like really happy moments of your life or just those like not so happy moments. And like recognizing that everyone is super busy and has their own stuff going on, but like if you're able to prioritize one another through all of that and be there for one another and like check in with one another, that is huge to me.
I feel like I had a slightly different version of pretty much the same thing. I wrote mutual care for each other's well-being. Just like investing in that other person, not like in terms of money, obviously, but just you're investing, like you care about this person, each other. And that's a pretty big characteristic of a positive friendship.
You're like investing time and energy into someone's well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I like looking at it that way. Yeah. One other thing that I had was that a true positive friendship is a friendship where you can talk to the other person about absolutely anything and it's like totally free of judgment. So not feeling like you have to like step around certain topics or that they're gonna think you're like a lesser person for doing or saying something specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Like
mm-hmm.
be able to talk free of judgment.
Agree. Yeah. I said, I can be myself around them. And I think that is similar to what you just said too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Another thing I wrote 2 qualities that I think positive friends have, that they're kind and that they're reliable. So kind is pretty much self-explanatory, but reliable, life happens. So pre-COVID, when I made plans with friends, I feel like good friends would show up. But also communicate if something comes up and you can't make it last minute. Just being open about it and saying, oh my God, I'm so sorry, versus just totally ditching the other person, right? And then it's also a mutual thing where the other person has to understand that it wasn't on purpose. It wasn't that they were flaking.
Reliability is huge for me.
Yeah.
I feel like even in just acquaintances, if someone isn't able to like respect your time, that's like one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yeah.
Shows it like it just I feel like to me it shows a lack of respect, and that's why it is not, it's like not, or is part of being a positive friend is like respecting the other person enough to like give them a heads up or like show up when you say that you're going to show up, or like not just completely about them, you know?
Yeah, totally. Just having common topics to talk about, common interests or common background or common values. It doesn't have to be all of these, but I feel like with each of my friends, we have something in common that brings us together.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe different people, we may have different interests, but maybe we're both teachers or we're both, there's something in common, not everything, but something. Let's say I met a new friend. I feel like if I wanted my other friends to meet that person, that's a pretty strong indicator of positive vibes. Yeah. Which also goes for romantic relationships too, right? Like you would want your significant other to get to know your friends and vice versa. So same for new friends.
Yeah, that's true. Like if you meet someone new and you're like, oh my gosh, you would get along with these people I already love so much. And that's like, piggybacking off of yours, I think it's super great and important to have like a mutual, like an interest or something in common with someone. But I also think it's really important that a friendship is not like rooted in any sort of like competitiveness or like jealousy, and that when you're there for each other to celebrate each other's successes, like genuinely be happy for each other, that's also a really good sign of positive friendship.
Maya, you look so cute right now.
Oh my God, thanks. I'm reading.
So the next topic is making friends. I guess just thinking about the course of our lives so far and how we've made friends over the years. / nowadays.
Toot our own horn, but we're really good at being friends.
Do you mean with each other or like in general?
Like in general. I think you're a really good friend.
Wait, that's so nice. I think you're a great friend too.
Okay, so we're doing how to make friends, right?
Yeah.
Okay. One thing that I think is a great tip is back to your point about being reliable. Like in the start of a friendship, if you are able to like show up to those first initial friendship dates and not like flake or postpone all the time, and if you're able to like respond to texts and be like in it in the beginning, that is a great way to like get people to continue reaching out to you to hang out. Because in the beginning of a friendship, you don't know if that person honestly doesn't want to hang out with you or if they're just busy. Later on, of course, if you like don't respond to texts for a while or something, the other person will know like, okay, this person's busy. But in the beginning, they're like, okay, they just don't want to talk to me. I'm not going to reach out to them anymore. So like being responsive and reliable in the beginning, I think, and also being the one to like reach out is the key in the beginning, I would say. I
guess I've interpreted making friends differently because I have a really different response. But I think that just goes to I don't even know what it goes to show, but I feel like as a kid, your friends kind of would be the people you meet at school, or like if you did extracurriculars, right? Like just childhood friendships are mostly a result of where you are. And then as you get older and you go to college, you make college friends. We could do a whole episode on this, just making friends in college versus then grad school and work. I feel like, literally each stage of life and the friendships you make in those periods of time are really different. And now that we're no longer in school and fully just working people, I feel like outside of work, it's more likely to make friends with friends of friends. I mean, we did go on that Bumble BFF date, which is
True.
pretty cool.
There's technology now to help you
Yeah.
make.
Yeah. But I guess aside from that, I have met your friends and vice versa.
I think a great way to make friends is like trying to like increase the amount of people you're meeting in general, whether it's other your friends' friends, or it's like going to events that like interest you, or it's, you know, going to a new dance class, or it's just saying hi to the person next to you who's like in this club that you're in, like whatever it is.
When I first started working as a teacher, I joined this gym that had classes, and I went to this dance class where I hit it off with this other girl. This was like 4 years ago now, I think. Did I tell you about this before?
No, I was just saying it's like kind of like our friendship story.
Oh my God, but no, just you wait. I mean, it literally ended that day because I like loved that dance class, but then I ended up discontinuing the membership because it was too far from where I lived.
Mm-hmm.
But this girl, like, I thought to myself, oh man, like maybe I should get her number and, you know, just hang out with her, become friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't. We were both like, okay, see you next Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And I like stopped going. I never saw her again, which kind of sucked. But I feel like that could have been a great opportunity for me to like make a new friend. I think we were similar ages. Like, I don't know, just got along in this dance class. So
yeah.
I mean,
if you like didn't know that you were not coming back, then you could just like exchange numbers. Then it wasn't meant to be for now.
Yeah. Anyway. How do you maintain positive friendships over time?
That's a great question.
I feel like my first thing was different friends, different ways. Because like I said earlier about making friends in different contexts, I feel like I have different friendships with each person. And because of that, the way we maintain our friendships is going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe we're living in different cities, we have different lifestyles and schedules.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to school every day anymore and seeing each other all the time. We don't go to grad school anymore. And so the frequency we see each other is really different. Not everyone is on social media. Maybe I don't have no idea what they're up to. But I will say that it is a two-way street. So whatever the relationship is and how you communicate with each other is, it is a two-way street. But through, you know, COVID times, I have found that a quick DM or a text can go a really long way. There are people I haven't really kept in touch with, but I've sent like responded to a story or something, said, you know, blah, 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 hope you're well. And, you know, I feel like they feel that genuineness, I hope. And, you know, it was a short-lived conversation, but a way to maintain friendships with maybe people I'm not as close with, and friends I am close with, but I don't see on a regular basis. You know, texting or FaceTiming once in a while is really nice. Sometimes there are groups of friends. I'm in a couple of group chats. That's a nice way to keep in touch with more than one person if you are in a friendship circle. So I guess that was a really scattered way of saying different friends, different ways.
Yeah. No, I agree though. I agree with like the theme of your answer was like staying connected in some way depending on your relationship.
Yeah.
What works for the two of you. I agree that also in like COVID times things have changed, and like I know people, like for example, you can't hang out and do activities with people anymore, so like sometimes catching up with friends is like not a like stress relief like going to a bar and having a drink after work. It's like a let's get on a Zoom call and like catch up with each other. So like in COVID times, like finding a new cadence potentially of like how often you talk to a certain friend, and like maybe do we need to change how often we talk? Like maybe now you're going to be texting me more because we have more time, and so we'll like text more, and that's how we'll keep in touch. Or like you can commit to a weekly Zoom call, or if that's too much pressure or too much like work, or you don't feel it a certain week, then like how can we adjust that? So I think like with close friends, it can be a conversation of like what works for you. Like I know me and Jane don't text all that often when you're in school because you're like with the kids during the day. But now during the summer we text more often, and then otherwise we like do phone calls and we would like hang out in person. But I do think like kind of like we mentioned earlier, like just being reliable and there for each other and communicating that is like across time, like even just sending a text and be like, hey, like I know things are hard right now, if there's anything I can do, like let me know, or like, hey, thinking of you, or hey, this made me think of you, like just those like little things you send once in a while.
Yeah, I like what you said about even with the same friend, the way you maintain that friendship and keep in touch and stay connected can change. So there is a group chat that I'm a part of, and initially when COVID first hit, we were doing weekly calls, which worked really well for us, but then people's work schedules started changing, and now it's once every other week. And then there are some weeks where there are 5 people total. Sometimes it's 3 people, sometimes it's 4.
I do think it's a challenging time right now, though. Like it's changed how I think about friendships for sure.
Yeah.
Like not only like communication, because I think before, when you have so many things to talk about, it's not that hard to like chat every week, and then all of a sudden maybe someone is going through something and they can't be there as often, and you're like, you just have to be free of judgment and be like, that person's obviously going through something. You can't take it in a different way, or like take it too personally, or like vice versa, where like if someone really needs you or really wants to talk a lot, but you need to set a boundary, like that's another conversation.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. It's like relationships, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
One thing I do like to do, though, I'm a huge texter. I think texting is great because people can respond on their own time. Is like, if you haven't talked to someone in a while, you can like recount something that you talked about in your last conversation and just follow up with that. Like, oh, I remember you were going to do this weekend. Like, how did that go? Or like, how is your weekend at this place going? So like, it's a big thing to talk about, as opposed to just like, how are you? Because it's a very broad question, and sometimes people don't know how to answer that. Like, if I know someone's been feeling down, like just being like, how are you feeling? Like, how is today going? Like anything like that, just to check in and like remind them that I know where you're at and I'm here for you.
Yeah. I guess this is a nice segue into the last part, like lessons learned, kind of like tips we've learned along the way, right? Kind of literally following what you just said. If a friend has been down, I'll text them something similar to what you just said, but I'll also follow that with, don't feel pressured to respond right away. I just want you to read this and respond in your own time. There's really no expectation. Kind of.
I like that.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Especially since a lot of communication between friends now is digital, and you can misread emails and texts really easily. I think it's important and helpful to take that extra step in being extra nice in your text. Like, no pressure, no worries if, that kind of thing.
I like that. It was kind of like that Instagram post that I sent you of like different conversation starters.
We should totally link that.
It's not totally related to friendships, but it's like just like making it explicit that you like what you're saying. There's no like room for ambiguity. For my lesson learned, I totally agree with everything you said. But one thing I feel like I've learned over time is that friendships are extremely important. And I think there's been like a history of friends being a kind of like a side relationship, but your like main relationship is like the one with your spouse or your partner. But realizing that friends can play like a really pivotal part, and like they can be like your emergency contact. They can be the people who you like really rely on in a lot of really hard situations, and they should be people that you invest in, because I just feel like that's kind of where we're moving towards, and it's just something that hasn't been as well talked about. And something that we've talked about is that book, Text Me When You Get Home. And there's also like a lot of other books that are coming up that are on this topic of friendship and female friendship, and how it's just like super, super important. So that's something I feel like I've known, but I haven't had words to say, but like I definitely learned that.
I totally agree. I feel like growing up, there just was such a huge emphasis on romantic relationships, and that being the main one. And I've definitely in the past, when I was younger, felt like when my friends got into relationships, they would kind of put our friendship on the back burner. At least I felt that way. They probably didn't intend it. I'm still friends with those people nowadays, but I definitely remember feeling that way. But I totally agree. I've started listening to the book. I'm
Yay!
not done yet, but I really like it. And I totally, I'm seeing, and I listened to Ingrid's podcast too, which talked about this book. So I had some like, huh?
We'll link Ingrid's that podcast.
Yes. Yeah. So I had some prior exposure to these ideas. Yeah. I feel like it's a relationship. Friendships are relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Romantic relationships are also relationships. And they're, obviously there's a lot of overlap. They're different in their own ways, but friendships aren't less important or more important than other relationships you have with other people, but they're definitely more important than I grew up thinking they were.
Agreed.
Because
no one talks about friendships like they talk about relationships growing up.
yeah.
It's like BS. Even the media, movies, it's all about like the guy getting the guy or like getting married, and there's more to your friends.
Yeah, like my emergency contacts right now are 2 friends. One of them is you.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
seriously. All
Because
my contacts.
it's so common nowadays for people to be living in a different state or maybe even country than their family. And so you're going to have to put someone local as your emergency contact. And in that case, it would be friends. A follow-up to your whole, like, how are you thing, just how that can be a very just difficult question to answer. We address that, but something else that I used to say to people that I've stopped saying if I don't mean it is, let's catch up sometime. Let's meet up sometime. Because I would say that to certain people, but like there have been so many cases where I said that to someone and they're like, yeah. And we both knew it was never going to happen. So I've literally stopped saying it, and it takes off that pressure. Like, why do you have to end conversations with, let's catch up sometime? Like, soon, if you know it's not going to happen. Like, I've started saying things like, it was so nice seeing you, bumping into you. Or I guess in COVID times, I would just like maybe respond to a DM, but and maybe it would go back and forth a few times. And then I won't try to continue like, it's okay for conversations to end.
Totally. I don't know why we all like collectively felt that pressure to like catch up sometime with some random person that we didn't really like ever want to. But like, what are things you could say instead?
It was so nice seeing you.
Yeah.
Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah. Or it was so nice catching up, and we don't need to catch up further. I know I recently canceled a weekly chat that I had scheduled with a friend because we both were like, clearly we don't, like, one of us cancels every time. There's like a lot of pressure in this and getting really busy, so let's like rethink this. I think that's a really good note to end this on as well.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So I think that's it for our Vodkast conversation today. I hope the people who watched it and made it this far enjoyed it, and like we'd also love to hear different perspectives on like qualities that you enjoy, that you like look for in a friend, and your experiences with positive friendships. I think next week potentially we're going to be talking about the other side and talking about more toxic friendships and what that entails in our own experiences. So stay tuned for that. But
yeah, and if you have books or podcasts or resources about positive friendships that you think we could check out, please let us know as well. We'd love to hear it.
We're talking so formally, even though there's like we like know the 5 people who are going to watch this.
Yes. So hey!
Hey! Give us feedback, but like not too hard to remember.
Yeah. Or we will film ourselves crying.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. Bye.